On this episode of the Bryant Buzz, Hannah Rudnick heads down to a new small business here on Reynolds Road.
Plus, Mitchell Elmore checks in with the welding program at the Saline County Career Tech Center.
Also, Chelsea Jensen finds out what it takes to make a living during this year's Senior Financial Reality Fair.
As the football season comes to a close, Emery Pendergrass reports on those helping on the sidelines.
And as always, Sophia Murrell brings us our 212 Spotlight.
All of that on this episode of the Bryant Buzz.
Welcome to the Bryant Buzz. I'm Carson Hobson.
And I'm Nevaeh S. Robinson. Here on the Bryant Buzz, we showcase the people and programs that make up the Bryant campus and community.
For our first story, we take a look at a bakery right down the road.
A Betty's Cake Shop recently opened up here on Reynolds Road and is perfect for those with a sweet tooth.
With more on the story, here's Hannah Rudnick.
Starting a small business can be a challenge, but for bakery owner Abet, starting a Betty's Cake Shop was the easy part.
It's been about 6 years since I started doing cakes. I was a stay-at-home mom and taking care of my kids, and when I realized that they were a little more independent and I could work on my own, I started looking for something I could do to work out of the house. And so I started making cakes and slowly but slowly grew my business. I worked out of my home for about 5 years. And then after a while, I had enough orders weekly that I decided it was about time to open my shop because I had too much going on at home. When I first met Yvette, I went and hung out at her house for a little bit to get to know her, and she was talking about making cake. She started showing me she had her own oven at home, an extra oven for it, and all the extra stuff and was needing a larger place to store it all. And she's making huge, enormous cakes for super fancy, formal events for hundreds of people. I'm thinking, wow, when I saw the scale and the magnitude of her work, I was pretty shocked.
Originally from Mexico, Abet's language barrier has not stopped her from being successful.
The language barrier has been the most difficult part. It hasn't been an obstacle. It hasn't stopped me. I can still communicate and I can take orders, but to be able to do all the things I need to do, it's been difficult.
The process of completing orders and baking cakes is more complicated than you would assume.
So for the very large cakes, it's a very long process, sometimes up to 2 weeks. You start baking the cakes and then you store them, and then you have to eventually start making the icings and sometimes different coverings for them, the decorations. So you start way in advance and make it, and also the time it takes to get it to the location and get it set up. So sometimes you can't go daily, but weekly I can do up to 30 cakes. We start the process on Mondays though, and it's a week-long process, and we do most of the deliveries on Saturday for the events.
Between hundreds of orders every month in her eventful home life, she has to find a way to balance work and family.
One thing I was really impressed of when I met Yvette was her talent, but also her prioritizing her family. She is super talented, found a way to help her family, but she's hands-on with her daughter's cheer and all of her son's baseball stuff, and more importantly, her son with cerebral palsy too. I noticed their family dynamic was great, their siblings are close, and that they truly love each other and have a close family. And I really respected that, especially seeing her talent and wanted to open her own business too.
You can see more of Abet's work on her Instagram at A Betty's Cake Shop LLC as she continues to influence the community. And that's how the cake bakes. For the Bryant Buzz, I'm Hannah Rudnick.
Thanks, Hannah. Those cakes look amazing, and I bet they taste even better.
I really do need to stop by there sometime, Nevaeh.
Our next segment takes us back to the Saline County Career Tech Center.
Students at the Tech Center use the skills they learn there to prepare them for life after high school.
Mitchell Elmore catches up with the students in welding and how they're using those skills to prepare for the future.
We're back at the Career Tech Center to talk with the students in welding. The Saline County Career Technical Center provides a 4-course program of study for those interested in a welding career. Junior Avery Barnett has used these skills he's learned well in class to help decide what he wants to do in the future.
I'm going to go to the pipe field and I'm going to TIG on some pipe and make a lot of money.
Although the welding class focuses on teaching students necessary skills for their career, for students like senior Jared Plauch, it is also a way for them to socialize and make connections.
I think probably meeting people from different schools, just coming out here and then being able to learn something that I can go out in the workforce and just gain enough money so I can do what I need to and retire early.
Welding students do most of their work in class, but sometimes require out-of-class time in order to finish projects.
I do a little bit, not a whole lot, but I try to do as much as I can outside of class.
There are many jobs in the field of welding. Students at the Tech Center have the opportunity to take classes including metal fabrication, shield metal arc welding, gas metal arc welding, and tungsten arc welding. Many areas allow for students to have a variety of options when looking for a career.
I've looked at some at pipelining, some as just a pipe fitter, because welding is not all about sitting over here with a rod welding. You can be a pipe fitter, you can go out and help cut pipe, you can help be a crane operator for moving the pipe. It just all depends on what you really want to do.
For Hornet Media, I'm Mitchell Elmore.
Thanks for that report, Mitchell. We look forward to seeing other programs at the Tech Center.
The seniors recently attended the Financial Reality Fair to get a better understanding of real-world finances.
Students took the opportunity to talk to community business leaders to learn how to manage their money. With more on the story, here's Chelsea Jensen.
Earlier this month, Bryant High School hosted the Financial Reality Fair for the class of 2022. The fair helps teach students real-life budgeting skills based on their career choices.
Well, today I'm at the BHS Financial Fair, and it's a really cool thing where the kids come in and they have an occupation that they're going to be, and as a result of that, they get a budget, and then they have to go through the budgeting process so they know how much money it's going to cost them for each month. It's a great little tool to learn how to budget and learn that you got to prioritize certain things, like you got to get your rent and your housing and all that stuff before you go buy your TVs and PS5s and all that.
Mayor Alan Scott believes it's better for students to learn about budgeting in high school in order for them to be more prepared for future financial situations.
I think it'll help them as they leave school to learn this budgeting process now, so when they get out of school they can continue to do that budgeting process, because we have to budget things every month. You know, I have to do it personally and I have to do it for the city as well. So
students agreed staying in budget was their biggest challenge.
Things are more expensive than I thought they were.
I think that's what they really learned today, and sometimes they're shocked at how little money they get from their chosen occupation.
Caleb Gaines, whose career choice was a mechanical engineer, agrees the fair gave him a better understanding of how to handle money.
Finding out kind of what I needed, because there were a lot of things that we had the option to pay for that we didn't need, but then there were a lot of things that we absolutely needed to survive.
Overall, the Financial Reality Fair was a success in helping seniors gain the skills they need to transition into the real world.
Yeah, I think it'll help a little bit. It helps me to get an idea of how much I need to be spending on certain things.
Mayor Alan Scott has one final piece of advice for the graduating class.
Be careful and just make sure you don't overspend, you know, because it's hard when you go into debt, it's hard to get out of debt.
Along with seniors, community members working in finance and representatives of local banks attended the financial fair. For Hornet Media, I'm Chelsea Jensen.
Our football team is preparing this week for its 5th consecutive appearance in the state championship game.
Behind the scenes, there are a lot of people who help make that happen. The football managers show continuous support to our team to help keep them going.
With more on the story, here's Emery Pendergrass.
This year's athletic training student aides, Bailey Begley, Mesmerized Tom, Caitlin Morton, and Maylee Meckham have been athletic training student aides since their sophomore year. They all enjoy it very much despite all the hard work and commitment that is put into being an athletic training student aide. There's a lot of learning factors and rewarding factors. Although from the stands it looks like they just give out water to the football players, there's much more happening behind the scenes that you don't get to see. These girls have learned how to properly tape and wrap players' wrists and ankles, as well as learn about time management and what it takes to have big responsibilities. Mesmerized Tom and Maylee Meckham told us what the most stressful and the best part about being an athletic training student aide, and some things they do on game days that they do differently on practice days.
Oh, game days are way more stressful than regular days. Like, everything has to be on point at, we have certain times that we have to do this and that. The hardest part would be halftime, because we have to watch the clock and the game at the same time, and we have to make sure that all the bottles are filled up.
It's a lot more stressful than a regular day.
With football season coming to an end and 2 of the athletic training student aides being seniors, the Bryant football team is looking for a couple dedicated students to become athletic training student aides. If you're interested, please contact Heather Jolly for this amazing opportunity. For Bryant Buzz, I'm Emery Pendergrass.
To wrap up our show, it's now time for our 212 Spotlight.
Our 212 Spotlight is a student who shows Hornet pride by being a part of activities here on campus.
With this month's 212 Spotlight, here's Sophia Merle.
Lauren Elliott is a junior here at the Bryant High School campus and is heavily involved in the dance team.
I've recently won 2 solo awards for some of our dance team competitions this past month. And then I guess just competitions for studio. We usually win multiple awards during our season. Like this past season we won quite a bit and we were national champions for one of our dances.
With Lauren's participation on 2 dance teams and her day-to-day classwork, she has to find a way to balance it all.
It's a lot. I usually, we don't really have practices anymore after school, but it would be like I had practice after school and then I'd go straight to the studio a couple days a week, and then I have dance on Sundays. And so I just try to find time in between that to do my schoolwork, usually late at night or something. But it all seems to work out. So.
Lauren's love for dance has influenced her to continue dancing through college.
I hope to do it in college and make a college dance team. I'm not sure more about a career, but I just know in college it's something I'm looking into doing.
One thing that Lauren is most proud of is being chosen as one of the dance captains for the Bryant dance team.
It means a lot because, we're always having to be there to make sure everything is in order, make sure we're prepared for the games and the pep rallies and all of that. And it just means a lot to be a leader for the team and be able to help the girls when needed to and just motivate them.
Keep up with Lauren as her and her high school dance team take on Dance Nationals in February in Orlando, Florida. For the Bryant Buzz, I'm Sophia Merle.
That's our show for this month. You can keep up to date with the Hornet Media program by following us online,
on our YouTube channel at Bryant High School Hornet Media, and on Instagram at Hornet News Network.
Also, don't forget to join us on December 9th for our end-of-semester Hornet Media Extravaganza. Thanks for watching. I'm Neve S. Robinson.
And I'm Carson Hobson. Have a great day, everybody.